Welcome to Man in Progress, Forging Manhood. I'm Travis Murray, values coach and your guide to building a life driven by real values. Each week we explore what it means to be a man today, talk about and to thinkers and doers who've been through it, and give you steps to show up better for yourself and those you love. If you're ready to forge your own path, you're in the right place. Let's get to it. A forger stands alone, his furnace glowing. He lifts the hammer, but there is no apprentice watching. No friend to hand him water, no elder to correct his swing. He strikes and strikes, sparks fly, the metal glows, but he does not know if the blade is true. Without someone to test it, or a soul to protect, the edge could be brittle. Strength is forged in solitude, but meaning is forged in company. An edge with no purpose and no witness can warp in silence. The fire is hottest when you're alone. The work is purest when you're not. Last time we talked about purpose, we asked what happens after you recognize your worth. We learned that a bottle of water's price changes from pennies to dollars depending on context, not contents. Your life is the same. You move to the right shelf so your value can serve the thirsty, and you choose a target so your strength doesn't hit empty walls. There's another piece. Once you know where you stand and where you're aiming, you need to know who is beside you. Men are famous for going alone. We pride ourselves on silent suffering, on carrying our own weight and everyone else's. But research shows that story is killing us. Men have shorter life expectancies, higher suicide rates, and growing loneliness. A survey found that 95% of men believe mental health is important as physical health. Yet most of us don't talk about it. We burn bright in isolation and then flicker out. At the same time, something new is happening. Positive masculinity movements and men's networks are growing. Online hashtags and forums invite men to share their depression, trauma, and loneliness. Offline groups like the Mankind Project create spaces where men can redefine masculinity. These communities don't tell you to man up or grind harder. They tell you to breathe, to speak, to listen. They treat emotional resilience as strength, not weakness. They practice self-care with pride, reflecting a broader trend where younger men invest in grooming and wellness. This episode is about forging brotherhood. It's about understanding the crisis of isolation, recognizing the rise of healthy communities, and learning to build one yourself. We'll draw on personal stories of solitude and connection. We'll look at knights and saints who turn their strength into service alongside others. We'll teach tools to create rituals, set boundaries, and measure the health of your relationships. We're not chasing tips or hacks. We're inviting you to forge companionship. Hey, thanks for making it this far. If you could go leave a 5-star review, that helps push this content out to other people who may need it. Check the description for a support this podcast button. You can also send me a message using the chat with host. But let's get into it. Purpose without people feels hollow. You can know why you're here. You can sharpen your edge on the stone every morning. But if you never use it to protect, to build, or to heal someone else, you'll wonder why it's there. Human beings are wired for tribe. Our brains are social. Our survival has always depended on cooperation. Men often forget this because we're told to be independent, but the cost is high. Statistics show men die earlier and kill themselves more than women. Isolation, stoicism, and rigid masculinity norms correlate with higher suicidal ideation. History offers better models. Look at William Marshall. We used his story already to illustrate purpose. Yes, he was steady and disciplined, but he was never alone. He served 5 kings, stood beside them through battle and peace, and mentored a boy king. His loyalty created trust, and his presence stabilized a kingdom. When civil war broke out, William didn't hole up in the castle. He gathered allies, negotiated with barons, and led armies. He saved England because he knew a blade is only useful when it stands in front of someone else. Or consider Joan of Arc. She did not ride alone. She carried supplies and inspired starving men. When an arrow pierced her shoulder, Soldiers begged her to retreat. She pulled it out and returned. Her courage rallied a city, not just herself. Her edge freed France because she let others sharpen it in their fires of their faith, and they followed her. Even when captured, she remained connected. Her letters to the king and the people resonated long after she burned. In more spiritual realms, Saint Benedict wrote a rule not for one monk, but for a community. He structured prayer, work, reading, so that brothers would not waste time. They wouldn't gossip or fall into idleness. His aim was to help men support each other's growth. St. Francis stripped himself of wealth, not to disappear, but to join the poor. He kissed lepers and invited others to do the same. His poverty sparked a movement because he didn't pour into sand, he poured into people. Community matters because it sharpens you, steadies you, and multiplies your impact. Without it, you risk disorientation. Ask yourself, who stands at your anvil with you? Who sees you swing? Who tells you when the metal is cracking? Isolation creeps in quietly. You graduate, you move, you focus on work, you settle into family routines, and suddenly you look up and realize the only voices you hear are your own. In that silence, it's easy to grasp for noise. Many men turn to online spaces filled with anger or bravado. Influencers preaching hypermasculinity promise confidence, respect, and control. They mock vulnerability and sell dominance. Their message resonates with men who feel unseen or directionless. But as the Global Wellness Institute's notes, these hypermasculine influencers attract disaffected young men and drive them toward extreme ideas. They shout about high-value men and alpha status, but they leave you emptier than when you arrived. When you're lonely, any community feels better than none. I remember being in my early 20s, living in a new city, no family, few friends, working late. I began following voices online that told me to hustle harder, to stop being soft. They offered simple formulas for success, but every video left me anxious. Their visions of masculinity made me ashamed of my gentleness. I tried to adopt their swagger. It felt like wearing armor 2 sizes too big. I wore it to the gym, to dates, to meetings. I grunted and flexed, but I didn't feel stronger. I felt farther from myself. Eventually, I realized I was aiming at approval from strangers who didn't care about me. My edge was blunted by borrowed bravado. We must recognize the epidemic of isolation and the lure of toxic influencers as real dangers. Loneliness and social isolation increase your risk of suicide and physical illness. The man box, a set of beliefs that men must be tough, stoic, and dominant, is linked to violence, depression, and poor health outcomes. When we internalize these beliefs, we may work out, succeed, and gain status, but we're all still thirsty. At the same time, the Global Wellness Institute notes that positive masculinity networks are rising. Men's circles, online communities, and hashtags encourage open conversations about depression, trauma, and loneliness. Groups like the Mankind Project host retreats, local meetings where men learn to be vulnerable. Younger men are also embracing self-care, investing in grooming and wellness, a $90 billion market. These trends show a hunger for authenticity. The question is, which voices will you let in? Which communities will you join? Will you let loneliness drive you to toxic scripts, or will you forge bonds with men who see your scars and stay? Brotherhood doesn't happen by accident. You have to forge it. You need tools, vulnerability, invitation, consistency, and discernment. Tool 1, vulnerability. Connection starts when you stop performing. Share something real. It could be simple. Tell a coworker you're nervous about a presentation, if you are. Tell a friend you're scared about being a father. Tell your partner you're exhausted. Vulnerability opens a space where someone else can step in. It signals, I trust you enough to be seen. This is not oversharing. It's selective honesty. If you've never been vulnerable, start small. Say, I need help, or I don't know. The first time I told a friend I felt lonely, he confessed he'd been feeling the same. We began meeting every Friday for coffee. Our friendship was forged in that admission. Tool number 2, invitation. Brotherhood doesn't grow if you wait for others to come to you. Invite men to your table. Start something. Host a breakfast, a book club. Create a group chat where honesty is the norm. Tool number 3, consistency. Trust builds with repetition. Schedule your meetups and keep them. Show up even when you're tired. It's the same principle as the rule of St. Benedict: fixed hours for work and prayer. Your brotherhood needs a cadence. Maybe it's monthly dinners, weekly calls, or daily texts. Keep each other accountable. If someone doesn't show up, reach out to them. Over time, this will breed rhythm, and a rhythm equals safety. Tool number 4, discernment. Not every group is right for you. Some circles become echo chambers. Others become competitive. Choose spaces where vulnerability is met with empathy, not judgment. Watch for men who listen as much as they speak. Watch for groups that value both strength and softness. The Mankind Project asks men to examine their shadows and hold each other accountable without shame. That's a good model. If a space demands you conform to a rigid script, leave. Tool number 5, service. Brotherhood deepens through shared purpose. Do things together that matter. Volunteer at a food bank. Help a friend move. Build a deck for a single mom. Shared labor bonds men more than shared talk. Remember William Marshall defending his king and Joan of Arc carrying supplies. They served with others, not just for themselves. Remember that rituals keep brotherhood alive. St. Benedict's rule gave monks a schedule. Francis of Assisi founded an order with vows and daily routines. Your group doesn't need to chant Latin, but it needs structure. Morning check-ins. Start your day by sending a quick voice note to a friend. Share your intention for the day. It could be as simple as, I'm aiming for patience with my kids. Hearing someone else's aim reminds you you're not alone. Midday resets. Set an alarm with another man. When it rings, both of you take 3 breaths, drink water, and send a text saying, keep forging. It's a tiny ritual that interrupts isolation and invites accountability. Evening reflections. End the day by telling someone one win and one miss. Use St. Benedict's rhythm as inspiration. Examine where you poured and where you spilled. Don't make it performative. Make it honest. I lost my temper with my partner. I need to apologize. Or, I listened to my son when he rambled about video games. It felt good. Weekly gatherings. Pick a day and time that rarely changes. Meet in person if possible. Share food, turn off phones, ask a question. One like, what's one fear you overcame this week? Or, what's one thing you're hiding? Over time, these gatherings become sacred. They're not just social, they're spiritual. Service rituals. Plan regular acts of service. Once a quarter, volunteer together. Once a year, take a trip to build or fix something. Francis and his companions built churches with their hands. They labored, bonded, and worked together for someone else. Your friendship becomes mission, not just comfort. Remember, rituals are containers, not cages. They exist to hold your connection. If one breaks, fix it. If one no longer serves, change it. But keep the structure. Without it, life's busyness will erode your brotherhood. Brotherhood isn't about clinging to men so you feel less lonely. It's about feeding your mind, allowing yourself to be a part of something bigger than just you. Pour your thoughts, pour your courage into others, and let them pour that into you. The self-care revolution isn't selfish. It's necessary for sharing. Younger men are embracing self-care in grooming and health. That's not vanity, it's preparation. You can't support anyone if you're worn out. Share your skills. Teach a friend how to cook. Mentor a younger man in your trade. Offer to watch someone's kids so they can rest. Check in on a new father who feels overwhelmed. Support networks like the Mankind Project. Encourage men to be of service. When you pour, your value expands. Receiving support. Let others serve you. When a friend offers help, accept it. Let someone cook for you when you're grieving. Let someone hold your baby while you shower. Pride keeps us from receiving. Humility invites connection. Francis relied on others for food and shelter after giving up his wealth. He received and gave freely. Accepting help isn't weakness, it's trust. Boundaries and leaks. Not every pour is wise. If you're constantly giving to someone who never reciprocates or always drains you, that's a leak. Love them, but set boundaries. If a group chat always turns into complaining without action, that's a leak. Seal it by redirecting the conversation or leaving. Your water is precious. Pour into deserts, not into sand. Expanding circles. As your needs change, so might your circles. A new father needs different support than a man recovering from addiction. A man starting a business needs different counsel than one grieving. It's okay to have multiple groups. It's okay to let some fade. Francis's order grew beyond its control. He let it. Brotherhood evolves. How do you know if your brotherhood is healthy? Not by counting friends or likes. Measure by alignment and impact. Energy to impact ratio. After spending time with your brothers, do you feel drained or nourished? Do your conversations lead to growth or stagnation? If you invest hours and see no change in yourself or them, something is off. That doesn't mean you abandon them. It means you adjust how you meet. Maybe switch from venting to action. External feedback. Ask your partner, do you notice a difference in me after I meet with my group? Ask your kids, do you like when my friends come over? Ask your therapist if you have one. Listen, Benedictine monks live under an abbot who corrected idleness and gossip. Their community had feedback loops. Yours should too. Internal checks. At night, scan your body. Is your chest tight or relaxed? When you think of friendship, do you smile or clench? Your body doesn't lie. Legacy check. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. Would older you be grateful for the time you invested in these men? Would he regret the hours spent alone on your phone? Picture your son reading your journal. Would he see a man who forged alone or one who built circles? Use that image as a compass. Brotherhood is dynamic. It will have seasons of closeness and seasons of distance. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. You're not building an army, you're building a family. Check your aim regularly. Adjust your rituals, let people in, let some go, keep forging. Worth is alignment, not applause. You're not broken. You're a man in progress. And I want you to realize that just listening to this podcast can help, but it's not going to change anything you don't want to change. Do the work. Forge your values. Build a system. Set boundaries. Build circles of friendship that helps you grow. Build a brotherhood. Or find one that you want to be a part of. There are so many options out there. Sitting in idleness, sitting in loneliness is the reason that you feel this way. You are someone special. You have something special inside of you that needs to be shared with others. You have a skill. You have a talent. You just have to find out how it can benefit those around you and give them that attention. Give it that attention. I hope that you've taken some of the words that I've said in these podcast episodes and applied them to your life. I would love to hear about it. In the description, there is a send a text or chat with a host button. Feel free to click that. Come talk with me. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Now for my closing remarks. You've learned to hold your edge and aim your strength. Now you know that edge wasn't meant to be hidden. It's meant to be held beside someone else. The forge is hot. The work is hard. You can't do it forever alone. So tonight, write down one man you trust. Text him. Send him this podcast. Invite him for coffee. Tell him something real. If you have no one, look up a local men's circle or an online group that values vulnerability. If you're in a group already, commit to consistency. Choose a ritual, a weekly check-in, a monthly dinner, a quarterly service project. Choose a boundary to protect your poor. Say no to one toxic influence. Say yes to one supportive one. Ask yourself, would the younger you be proud of the circle today? Would he see men who sharpen you? Men you sharpen? Would he see you still alone at the anvil? Don't let pride keep you isolated. Don't let fear keep you in toxic spaces. Remember William Marshall standing before his king. Remember Joan of Arc riding with her army. Remember St. Francis kissing lepers and walking barefoot with brothers. Remember St. Benedict writing a rule for prayer and labor. None of them forged alone. Neither should you. You are not broken because you crave connection. You are just a man in progress. Keep forging. Keep reaching. Keep building circles that hold you when the heat rises. The forge belongs to more than one set of hands. Your edge was forged to serve others. Find your fellowship. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Man in Progress, Forging Manhood. I'm your host, Travis Murray, and I really appreciate you taking the time to hear what I have to say. I hope it's benefited you in some way, shape, or form. If you need more, please reach out to me. Share this podcast with somebody that you truly think can benefit from it. Again, we are just men trying to do better day in and day out. And if this can help somebody, please share it with them. Since we're at the end of this episode, I'll go ahead and state something that has been bothering me. I have not been putting out episodes regularly. I have been in a state of depression myself that I've been trying to work out of. We all go through these things. I'm no different than you. You're no different than me in this situation. How we choose to better ourselves is how we move forward. I want this. I want to give people the knowledge that I have, and with the podcast, I can do it freely. So for that, I thank you for listening. I didn't realize how much doing this podcast absolutely helped me, or does help me, I should say. I get to refresh my memory of the events that took place that helped me become a better man, and that makes me feel good. I get to do research on other people in history who have been guiding influences for those around us. I get to see the impact of the things that I'm preaching on here that have taken place in real life with other people. I have been doing the research so that I know what I say to you is truth, not just some let's throw it together type of BS. I'm the type of person that loves. I love you, not just for listening, just for being you. I hope that the world can be a better place with people like you and me to help others consistently and constantly. I am also trying to build a group. I want to have a group of men around me that sharpen me and that I can sharpen. I want to start building that group now. So please, if you made it this far and you're still listening, go to the description, click on the support button or the chat button, and send me a message. I will respond personally to each of those messages. So thank you for sticking it out. Thank you for hearing what I have to say. I hope this benefits you as much as it's been benefiting me. I hope to hear your thoughts soon. Thank you, and thank you for your support.